Om Shanti. This is Sakar Murli of 9th August 2023. Essence. Sweet children, you will be able to imbibe knowledge when you become soul conscious. Only the children who become soul conscious will be able to remember the Father. Question. Due to which one mistake have human beings said that souls are immune to the effect of action? Answer. Human beings have said that each soul is the Supreme Soul, and this is why they have understood souls to be immune to the effect of actions. However, only Shiv Baba is immune to the effect of actions. He doesn't experience happiness or sorrow, sweetness or bitterness. A soul says, such and such a thing is so. The Father says, I am not affected by anything. I am beyond the effect of those things. I am the ocean of knowledge, and I speak that same knowledge to you. Song. I have come having awakened by fortune. Om Shanti. Who said this? The soul said this through these organs. The soul is an embodiment of peace. I am soul. Receive this body, and that is when I become talkie. I perform many types of actions through this body. First of all, you have to have this faith. In other spiritual gatherings, it is human beings who speaks to human beings. It is bodily beings who speak there. They could say such and such a great soul is sitting here. Those things doesn't exist here. You understand that you are souls and that those bodies are your organs. You souls are listening to the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, and He only has the one name, Shiva. At this time, you children are sitting here and listening to Him. Who is speaking to you? The Unlimited Father. Then you say, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, your intellect. Yoga goes up and above. Shiva means point. A soul is the point, and God is also a point. However, He is called the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He is the Father, and souls are the children. You have to understand, I, a soul, have become a child of the Father after beyond. You children have to become soul conscious. At all other places, it is human beings who explain to human beings. At any place where you study the Gita, they remember the Gita and also say that God said thus, and that is in the Gita. They believe that God in the corporeal form spoke the Gita. Some sit and related the Vedas and scriptures. Human beings wrote the Vedas. Incorporeal God did not write the Vedas. Vyas was the human being. Vyas cannot be called the Supreme Soul. Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is a point. Children are the incorporeal forms. They have corporeal forms, whereas the Father is the incorporeal. The Father says, I never have to become big or small. You become big or small. I am called the Supreme Father. Human beings are the first children, and then when they grown up, they become the parents and they become the children again. I am the Father constantly. I am not become a child. I only have the one name, Shiva. You receive 84 names because you have taken 84 births. I, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, have two form of the point. It is just that people on the path of devotion have made the form very large in order to worship me. Sometimes they make a very big image of someone. They make the very big image of the Buddha. There cannot be such a large human beings. They simply give regard in that way. They believe that He is very big. The Father is the highest on high, the greatest of all, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. The Father sits here and give His own introduction to you. Call me Shiva. It is explained to you, children. You have to understand that you have come personally in front of the incorporeal Shiv Baba. I am always called Shiv Father, Supreme Soul. I am the seed of the human world tree. The Supreme Soul sits here and explains. The soul has this knowledge. It is sung, Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, God. He is the ocean of knowledge. He is speaking this knowledge to us. First of all, you have to become soul conscious. You must not have body conscious. Therefore, according to the drama, you had to become body conscious. The Father is now making you souls conscious. All of you are souls. This one is also a child. Souls are receiving the inheritance from the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, the Godfather. In the worldly relationships, only sons receive an inheritance. Daughters doesn't receive it. The unlimited Father says, all of you are souls. Each one of you are right. You used to belongs to me, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, and you belongs to me now. You says, O God the Father, O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. You sang His praise. Who sing it? Souls. Those are physical fathers and bodily, whereas this one is the Father of souls. Souls call out, O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. You have been remembered the imperishable Father, because there is nothing but sorrow in the kingdom of Ravan. You began remembering him when the kingdom of Ravan begins. You only have to remember the Father because it is only from the Father that is you receive the inheritance. Here human beings remember many. Gurus make you forget to have remembrance of the one. If God is omnipresent, then whom should we call God or Father? The Father repeatedly says, children, become soul conscious. While sitting or moving around, remember me, your Father. Understand that you are the following Srimad. I, a soul, am eating in remembrance of the Baba. Your sins will be absolved by having the remembrance. The destination is very high. Yoga is not like going to your auntie's home. However, people have made the fathers disappear. Sri Krishna is just a child. It is definitely the Father who gave you such a huge reward. The Father explains, forget your body and all bodily relations. All of those names were given later on. Therefore, you must understand that you are studying this knowledge with the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. There is not any other schools where they should understand that they are souls. You know that you are at first Sato Pradhan and that you then go through the stages of Sato, Rajo and Tamo. Alloy is mixed into souls. I never have alloy in me. I am never real gold, ever near gold. The souls have all become iron age at this time. Mama could also say, I am telling to you that I have heard from Shiv Baba. Shiv Baba himself is the ocean of knowledge. Those matters have to be understood very clearly. We truly now belongs to the Baba. He is teaching us. We are becoming the liberated in the life by studying with Baba. To be liberated in the life means that is to do have they enter a body but also experience happiness. Everyone does receive liberation, but everyone does goes into liberation in life number wise. All souls become liberated. He liberates you from the sorrow of a cycle. He says, I liberate you and make you liberated in life. Then some take this many births and other takes that many births. Everyone becomes liberated in life. There is only the one who is the bestower of salvation. All the founders of religions have now become Tamopradhan while taking rebirth. I come and liberate everyone from that sorrow, and this is why I am called the liberation and bestower of liberation and liberation in life. Liberation means to go to your home in the land of silence. The Father comes here from the supreme abode, which is also called the world beyond Parlaukik. You remember both of the land of Nirvana and the land of heaven. Heaven is hell exists here. At this time, everyone understands that this is hell. They continue to receive so much sorrow. They have written very fearsome stories in the Garuda Purana, Hindu scriptures, from which people become the afraid, and you are thereby saved from the committing sin. Was why you sat and made any such stories. They began to write such scriptures in the Copper Age. The Father says, I came and write the Brahmin religion through Brahma. It then became the Sun and Moon dynasty. In those two stages, no one comes to establish a religion. Then, one after another, they all continue to become down number-wise and know their own religions. These deity religions will disappear, and they will then no longer be able to call themselves deities. Who could impure ones and called Sri or elevated? Only the Father makes you elevated. Deities are called elevated. There is many images of them, but people doesn't understand when the deity religion exists or who established it. They have elongated the duration of the golden age. Baba now says, children, consider yourself to be souls. Remember the Father. The play is now coming to end. Cannot see the gates of the liberation or liberation in life are opening. The bestower of liberation and liberation in life is only the one. You can see that here in the world is the title of the world mother is giving someone or others. In fact, it is this one who is Jagadamba, the world mother. There doesn't person who could be world father, teacher, and also Sadguru, Jagadguru. Although people give themselves many names, they are not that. There is such a vast difference between Lakshmi and Narayan and those vices ones who give themselves those titles. Human beings have become such fools. They have forgotten the original eternal deity religion and take those titles for themselves. In fact, only the one has the highest on high status. This is only the one bestower of salvation. Even if you call him Rama, he is the some incorporeal one. The Father says, people of Bharat do not know their own religion. When I was established or who established it, some remember the goddesses, some remember Sri Krishna, and other could remember their gurus. They even put up the photographs of their guru. You have nothing to do with pictures. The one who doesn't have the image is without a form is Vichitra, without an image. A soul is without an image, just as the Father is without an image. In this way, children are also without an image. It is souls that listen. Baba has taken this body on loan. He says, how could I give knowledge without the support of matter? How could I teach you Raj Yoga? Only the incorporeal one is called God. He has to come into the impure world. They show Sri Krishna floating on the people tree in the ocean. There is doesn't like anything that Sri Krishna is the first prince of the world. There are no one religious here. That is the undivided kingdom, and then there is the duality. Then many types of religions continue to be established. Therefore, you children have to understand that Baba enters this body and teaches us. Baba says, I am bodiless. I give you knowledge through this body. I am the ocean of knowledge. The Father sits here and explains all these things. When you simply say God or Supreme Soul, you forget the relationship of the Father. You forget that God is the Father and that you receive the inheritance from Him. He is our Father, our Creator, and we are His creation. He is the created us. Someone has to be created. Baba has explained that men are limited Brahmins. They created children. First, a male is adopted. Then the children are created with here. Baba says, I also create with this one. A female is definitely needed. You say to Baba, you are the mother and father. Therefore, he adopts you children through this one. This one is become the mother and he adopt you through him. So, you are called the mouth-born creation of Brahma. You belongs to the Father through this one. These are very wonderful things. They are not mentioned in the scriptures. I am called knowledgeful. Jani Janan Har. People think that God knows that inside everything and that He is the thought reader. How could He become a thought reader of so many people? The Father says, I am the seed of the human wall tree. I am living being. The true souls too are living beings. Bodies are false. They repeatedly continue to change. Souls do not die. You souls imbibe this knowledge. The Father explains, I, the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, am immune to the effect of actions. That is, I am not at all affected by the happiness or sorrow, or by bitter or sweet things. I am free from any effect of those. I am the ocean of knowledge. People then say that souls are immune to the effect of actions because souls and the Supreme Soul are one and the same. One person said something and everyone began to follow him. The Father says, I am immune to the effect of action. I don't find anything sour or salty. This one soul says, such and such a thing are sour. I have the knowledge of the whole world, which I then teach to souls. Each one of these souls has to be understood. I, a soul, am listening to the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. Here, there are truly the versions of God. You should have the faith that God, the Creator, is the one. First and foremost is Bharat. Bharat is called the imperishable land. This Bharat is the birthplace of the Purifier Father. This is a very elevated land. There is to be kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan here. You know that the Father is the once again the planting the sapling of the deity religion. Those who belongs to this religion will come and claim their inheritance. This is called the sapling. Baba has explained. You have to become soul conscious. Baba is teaching us. We are listening to him through these ears. We are studying this and teaching us. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. Essence for Dharana. First point, forget images, become one without an image and remember the Father who is without an image. Remove our body and all bodily relations from our intellect. Practice remember our soul conscious. Second point, the sapling of the deity religion is being planted. Therefore, you definitely have to become pure. You have to imbibe divine virtues. Blessing. May you die alive and transform your attitude, awareness, and vision with the awareness of your alaukic life. Brahmin life is said to be an alaukic life, which means that is the not like anything of this world. Let there be transformation in our vision, awareness, and attitude. Constantly have an attitude of brotherhood and brother and sister. All of us are from the one family. Have this awareness and in your visions look at souls, not bodies, and you will then be said to have the dead alive. When you have to find such a elevated life, you cannot be remember your past life. Slogan: constantly have the pure feelings and no impure feelings of the flu will then come to close to you. Om Shanti.